everyone, welcome to the Road to the Millionaire Retirement. My name is Andrew and thank you again for checking out this channel and this video. And in this video, I want to talk about what to do or what I like to do when the stock market is not doing so well for that day or for that days or the week. So usually the very first thing I do when I wake up is I check the stock market. That is that's my routine every morning on the day that stock market is open. And because I live in West Coast, we're 3 hours behind the East Coast. So the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. in New York. So that means that it's 6:30 in the West Coast when the stock market opens. But I'm not a morning person, so I usually don't wake up past till 7, maybe around 8. So so stock market has been open for like an hour, up to 2 hours, depending on what time I do wake up. So I get a good idea how the stock market has moved within the first 2 hours. And when I check the stock market and the stock market, like all my investment is doing bad, I would just take note, be like, okay, so we're having a pretty rough start. And if I'm working on that day, then obviously I wouldn't be able to check it often. But on my first break, I'll check how the stock market has gone. And by well, yeah, during by the time I go on my first break, it's usually when the stock market is closes. Stock market closes here in West Coast by 1:30. So no, I'm sorry, 1 o'clock. It closes at 1 o'clock on West Coast. So like I'll go on my first break around like 12:30ish. So that way I have an idea like how the market has done. So that's what happened when I go. That's when I have work. Now, when I don't have work, I usually check like every hour or so. Especially more often, especially if the stock market is doing good, because looking at your stocks and when they are performing well, that give you like that positive emotion. I don't know the term. I mean, I know there's a terminology for that pleasure chemical that get released in your brain and all that. But that really helps me to just check more often because it's money capital gain and that makes me happy. Like who doesn't like to see your portfolio grow, making money? So when I know the stock market is doing good, I'll check more often. But when it's bad, I'll check every hour or two. And at the end of the day, if the stock market has performed bad, like all my investment has been on negative side, then what I do 100% is I completely avoid opening my portfolio. I mean, I take note about how much percentage has gone down. So that way I don't try to calculate how much I lost anymore. Like I think the first 3 years that I've been doing investment, I would try to calculate. Okay, so I have 100 share of Microsoft, and I went down like $2, so that's like $200 that I lost. And I would keep track like that just to get a rough idea. But now that it's like I have multiple stocks and there's like hundreds and 50 of them that I have, I don't calculate anymore. So if I know that the stock, all of them has been in negative, like I would just completely avoid opening the portfolio and not see how much I have lost that day, because like I know I lost it. I don't want to know how much I lost. Now with that said, I don't completely ignore the the market going down constantly. Like if the market has been going down like it did back in 2020 with the COVID, that I will keep closer eye on it, just so that way I know like, hey, okay, stock market is going down day after day and week after week, so something is going on and I need to keep my eye on it. Because as much as I don't like timing the market, if I if I have a good idea and watching the news like the stock market is gonna keep going down, I like to choose some of these stock and pull out, because I feel like, some of these stocks are worth taking the chance of timing the market and then getting back in later. When the stock market is doing bad, and I know that it's done poorly, I will just not open it up. And if that happened the next day too, on the second day, because I did happen before, for second and third days, the market just, or my portfolio just keep going down, I will avoid just looking at my portfolio completely. And on the first day that it actually does go up, like it start to recover, I would, at the end of that day, I will open up my portfolio, see how much I made, and if I feel that curious, what I would do is I will go back on my graph and I will check out, like, okay, so how much did it fall? I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, so just giving you guys heads up, this isn't really the best method, I guess, but I really don't know any other way to check it. So what I like to do is my balance history. What I do is I click on the 1 month, because obviously that's the closest one I have, and I would check how much my portfolio closed the day before. So the Thursday, the 18th, was it was a pretty sucky day. It was sucky, yeah. So I didn't open my portfolio at all. But looking at it right now, Thursday, looking at it right now, Thursday, the portfolio closed at 111 and $86, and right now we're looking at 101 and 800. So obviously we're up by 754 right now. So it's not too bad. And if you see here, that 120 is when the GameStop was at the peak. That GameStop really boosted my. I think, yes, it really helped me get up there, and I'm like, that was really nice, 120. But anyway, so that's what I do. I check my previous closing um, date, or my closing portfolio amount, by checking this graph, and I'll be like, okay, so starting on February 12th, which was Friday, it slowly gradually went down and down, and today I'm checking it because I'm making the video, and it's also doing well from the stock market that I saw. So I'm like, okay, you know what, let's nail two birds at once. So that's what I do. I avoid just I don't want to feel like, I don't want to tell you guys, like, you should avoid the bad news. Like, when bad things happen, you should embrace it, deal with it. But in this case, there's really nothing we can do unless you plan to just sell your stock. And I'm not the type of person, because I'm doing this for the long term. I'm not trying to buy and sell as a day trader. So, like, for me, I feel like it's okay for me to just, like, not look at the portfolio for a day or two or even three if the stock markets are not doing that good, because I did my research. I put thought into the company that I chose to invest, and I have at least a little bit of faith in them based on the numbers that I saw to bought these company shares. So I don't feel like I'm in danger. That's why, like, I just completely avoid it. So if you guys are curious about how to deal with your stock market or your portfolio is doing bad, maybe that's what I would suggest trying out. Just if your portfolio is doing bad, just don't look at it at the end of the day, or maybe just don't look up the, like, your portfolio percentage graph. Like, I use Apple stock market apps that comes with it. It's very nice and easy, and you get to see how the stock is doing. So if you have something like that where you have all your stock graph in one app's display, then just look at it once, see how it's doing. If it's bad and it's gonna go bad throughout the entire day, then just don't look at it at all. Like, I mean, I know it's gonna be bothering your head, but just not looking at the graph will probably help. And if you guys are one of those people that are very consumed by it or obsessed with it, and you need to check, then at least check the graph, but try not to check the portfolio to see how much you lost. And these are what I do. I wouldn't say I would recommend these to you guys, but if you guys are you guys are maybe want to try it out and see how that works for you. Cause so far it's been doing well for me, and I don't think I'm gonna change that. If it's bad, don't bother looking at it. It's just a bad day. If it's good, then just keep checking every hour and be happy that your portfolio is making money. So, well, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy what I do here. Hopefully, stock market continue to go up, and hopefully I reach my goal for the year, which I think is gonna be very possible, because my goal for this year is 130,000, and I'm 19,000 away. So let's see how that goes. Well, thank you for watching, and you guys have a great stock week.